Hello there, I'm Steve, and it seems that you've stumbled into my shed just as I'm about to start a really exciting little project. What I've got is 6 Game Gears from different sources. Actually, these 3 are from one, and then these are from 3 random ones. What I plan to do is recap them all, see how many I can revive just from a recap. I'll probably go on to replace all the LCD screens with modern digital ones, but for now we'll just go with the recaps and see what happens. What I plan to do is I'll do the first one, I'll film it, make sure I capture everything. There's 100 different recap videos on YouTube, so you don't really need to see that, but what I'll do is I'll slowly do the first one, fast forward through everything else, and then if you do want to watch it, you can slow the video down through YouTube and watch it like that. What I'm going to be using is my caps. I haven't got any pre-made sets up, I've got my own capacitors to replace it with. I'll be using the Retro 6 guide. And then this is from Console 5, just showing me the different locations of the capacitors for the different types of boards. Hopefully I'll only have single ASIC and twin ASIC if I've got the Majestico, which I don't think I have looking at these screens, they're all coloured. But this one and this one have already got replacement lenses, so these were all the original plastic ones. These two have got the less rounded glass ones, so there's a good chance these have already been done. I haven't looked inside any of them yet, I haven't even tested any yet, I'm going to do that in a minute. So I'll be using the Console 6 guide, so I'll be using the Retro 6 guide, the Console 5 capacitor placement guides, and then I've also got this which tells you which capacitors you're going to replace, and I've just added on the values of the new capacitors just to make it quick and easy for me. Okay, so first things first, let's test these. As I say, I have not tested these at all, so this is the first time for plugging in for me. So number one, this one's already had the lens replaced. Switch on, there's nothing. Oh, there's a little flash. Don't know if you can see. I'm just cycling the power a few times and you'll see I am getting different results from doing that. So power light comes on, goes off. Okay. I've noticed when I do the cap replacements, it takes a few switches on and off to get it stable. So I'll pop on there. Okay, so it's caps replaced, power's on, 2 seconds, goes off. On to number 2. Oop. Same thing with the power, comes on, goes off. And I can just see the screen lighting up before it goes off. And 4. So they're not in any particular order, but I might as well keep them in order. There we go. Nothing. Oh. That's on and stays on. Oh, and then goes off. Give it a minute. On. Down. Okay, to this point I realise I should be testing with the game, so we'll quickly go through them again. Doubt that it's going to make any difference to this one. On, 2 seconds, off, on, off, on, off. Okay. This one, power's on. This is really heavy, this one. This one's got batteries in already. Dead batteries in. Bit of corrosion, nothing too heavy. Well cleaned up. Okay, exactly the same. Okay, so I missed out number 3 last time. Number 4, so this one I suspect has already had the capacitors replaced. It comes on. White, call that a white screen. These 3 from the same seller, I reckon they're not all the same, where they've tried to fix them and failed. One comes on, a few white lines and nothing else. Okay, this one, no batteries, covers. Bit of corrosion. What do you reckon? That was on. Oh, just about. Oh, it's gone. No sound. Sounds up full, but whoa. Okay. Okay. So, caps replaced. Power's on, 2 seconds, goes off, a few lines on screen. Number 2, power's on, 2 seconds, goes off, slight glow on the screen. 3's dead. 4, caps replaced, white screen, question mark. 5, power's on, there's a few white lines. Number 6, faint screen, no sound. So at the minute, number 6 is the best. Because I think that one's already got the caps replaced, I'm actually going to start with number 2. So I'll record me doing number 2, I'll fast forward through it all, I'll test it before I put it all back together and see where we go from there. Okay, one quick word of warning before we start. If you buy a second-hand Game Gear and it comes with an adapter, check the adapter. Luckily it's something I always do. You'll see on this one came with the 3 that I ordered. you've got negative on the outside of the pin, positive on the inside. It's 12 volt, these are 9 volt, but they easily take 12, 14 volts. So negative on the outside, positive on the inside. The original Game Gear adapter that I've just tested with has positive on the outside, negative on the inside. So that's garbage, although I have got a use for it. It's not for Game Gears. So at first glance everything looks okay, but everything's a little bit sticky. So I saw in there, I saw the mirror's clean inside, so as long as the bulb's working, we'll get away with that. How does this look? Just checking this one here. Actually looks quite clean. And this one was powers on, 2 seconds, goes off, slight glow on screen. Okay. Right, let's get the soldering iron on. So let's zoom in and do the So here are the capacitors I'm going to be using to replace it. We've then got the 100 microfarads in here, 10s here, the ones there. So the quick, fast, dirty, easy rule for these is there's a long leg, there's a short leg. The long leg is longer, so it's positive side. The short leg is shorter, so that's negative. It's missing, it's minus. So you can see that one in particular was very leaky. Next job, heat it up, get rid of these legs, clean up all the pads. Okay, so nothing struck me as particularly bad as I was taking the caps off this one, except perhaps for that very last one, which does have just a little more leakage around those pads than the others, so give it a clean up then. Right, so I'm just going to do the same again. I'm going to flux and tin up one side of each capacitor location, put capacitors on, and then flux up and tin the other side, solder it on. And I've just seen a capacitor I've missed. Yep. Okay, so I didn't use flux on that one. I figured there'd be enough on my wick, and it's come up nice, so yeah, okay. So let's flux up one side, if I can find the flux that I've just put down. Right, so now I've soldered one side. What I like to do is just do the 100 microfarad ones first. So I'll check on my list, run the twin ASIC, oh wait, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 100s. So C1, which is over here, is a 100. That's all the hundreds. Next we go with tens. And tens are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's all of them. Give it a quick clean up. And test it before we put it back together. Right, so just before I check it on, just before I turn it on, quick look, see what the problem was. There are the buttons. Power's on, 2 seconds, goes off, slight glow on screen. Okay. Exactly the same. Charge the capacitors up a few times and see what happens. And there's the backlight come on. See what happens when the game's in. Oh, we've got sound there. I can see it. There we go. It's a partial success. I'll heat this up, just see if we can get it fully revived. It's not something you could sell on though, is it? I'll give that a quick go. That's about as far as I want to go with that. Connect connect it back up, see what you think is happening. I doubt it personally. No, lines are still there. Okay. So that's the first one. So we've got sound back. Screen's no good. So we'll get this one put back together. On to number 2, which is number okay, so that's number 1 back together, although it's number 2. So it's lines on screen. So that needs a new one. Okay, on to number 2, which is number 1. So I won't record this. If I find anything good, I'll come back to you. I'll probably just show if it has been capped or not. Otherwise, we'll just test it and see how it goes. Okay, real quick update. It's hasn't been recapped. It's actually really clean in here. Really lovely shiny circuit board. So I'll carry on. So that's number 2, which is number 1, all done. I've popped a game in and I'll just give it a quick test before I clean it and put it back together, or not, as the case may be. Zoom in a bit. Okay, here we go. Again, it's the first time switching it on. some power in first. Try again. Ooh. So that screen is no good whatsoever. I'm not even going to attempt to resolder it. Sounds good. Nah, screen's not. So, new screen needed there. On to number 3. Right, number 3 is dead. Just dead. Just quickly power it up again, just make sure it's as dead as dead. Came in, got a light on, and it's off. Nothing on screen whatsoever. It might just light up for a second. Okay, so let's see what this one's like after a recap. So you might have noticed this. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of wax, I think. I think it'll just pick up. It might be burnt into the shell itself. I noticed it's also on the back where the batch covers were on both sides. So I might just come back on when I've got it open and see how bad it is inside. So inside it's actually not as bad as what it might have been. One of the first things I did notice is there's just a little bit of moisture on here, around there. A fair bit of corrosion on that one. But other than that, it's really not too bad. The other side pretty much the same. It's not too bad, not too bad. Then I got to the audio board, and yeah, it don't look great. The power board again is fine, looks fine. Okay, alrighty, here we go. First turn on of console number 3. I've put a game in already, and here's the first time I'm going to switch it on. It's doing the same as what it did before, on and off, although I'm getting more on the screen this time. Oh, and there it is, stopping on. Okay, and you can tell the sound again. The picture's pretty good except for the lines running through it. So you can see some lines there. I don't think that's going to revive if I warm it up or anything. Shame really, because that's quite a good screen. Still. I suppose I'm going to have to try and heat it up, because we're trying to see if recapping alone saves consoles. So I'll heat up around and then I'll switch it on again. Okay, so I've heated up along here, I've took the screen off, I've heated up on the back. And there. Heats up along there. So let's pop a game back in. Give it another go. No, it's the same. It's never worked for me, but I've heard it said that it can cure it, although quite often only temporarily. So it was worth a go. So it's number 3, not saved. On to number 4. And here is number 4. Already took the screws out, I haven't opened it up yet. This one, there's a white screen. I think the caps have already been replaced because of this, but obviously on the other one, with the new screen, it hadn't been replaced. So let's have a look. No, they're still original. And there's liquid on that one. So we'll get those replaced. See if it fixes number 4. So I've just put this one back together just to see if the sound works. I've popped a game in. The volume's up, but it's not a white screen anymore. What is that? So it's no good screen, it's just different to what it says there. It says white screen. But you can see there's a little bit showing through there. This bit's blank and then you've got the lines going across. And when you switch it on, that's the loading screen coming in there, but no sound. And as the rain starts, I don't know if you can hear that, number 4's finished. I haven't tested it yet. I'll switch it on and off a couple of 3 times, see what happens. Sound's working. Bit of a flash on the screen. Really bad. I think that's better on screen than it is when I actually look at it head on. There's lines missing here. It's really faded. Still the lights off. You can see it's brighter on that 3rd as well. I cannot see a thing. Okay. So recap number 4, another dodgy screen. And so straight on to number 5. Okay, scratch that. And number 5 is powers on, a few white lines. the rain comes down a bit. Just have right, horizontal lines. No sound. There's something happening on screen. Oh no. Might be playing again, I don't know. Okay, let's recap it, see if that saves it. And that's number 5 done. First time switching it on again. So there's a game in, I heard it. So it sounds okay. I can I know the sound works. I can see it. It's got to be just at the right angle though, and you've got to turn the contrast just right. But ooh, let's turn the lights off. It's better in the dark. Okay. I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if that one's good enough as it is. All the others just haven't been good enough at all, have they? No. No, you've got to hold it just right to be able to see it. No. I don't think anybody wants that, do they? So, turn it off. So it powers on. It says powers on, few white lines. So it's a definite improvement from that, but still, I wouldn't say that that was a total fix. And so, on to number 6. Faint screen and no sound. Let's have a quick look. It's been so long since I've been through these now. I really haven't had much time to do that. So, quick look. No faint. Let's turn the lights off again. Couldn't even tell if there was a game on there or not. Okay. So, faint screen, no sound. I'll come back to it when it's done. Right, so that's this one apart. Just want to show a couple of things before I carry on. This is okay. This is really quite bad, as you might expect. It's not very clear, is it? That's really corroded around there. Let's try and zoom in. It's a bit clearer. Corrosion on here. this is a particularly bad area. You can see all the furring going on. It's all quite bad. Powerboard's not too bad. I mean, it is a bit rusty. The battery terminals are rusty inside here as well. Whoop. There. The audio, this is the worst. That corrosion is just about as bad as I've seen on any audio board I've ever done. And then this is also loose. So this looks like it's been took off before. So I'm not sure if the speaker's going to work. And somebody's been in here and sellotaped that down. I've never seen that taped down before. So one of the screws was quite loose, which suggested that somebody had undone something already. So I'll do a quick resistance test on it. See if the speaker is working. I think these are 8 ohm. Maybe just do a quick resistance test across. 11, 10 and drop it. There you go, 9 ohm. That should give me sound. I mean, if we don't have sound after, I'll try swapping it out for a new one. But, I think it'll be alright. I'll fix that back on. Okay, I'll get on with cleaning and capping. Okay, so finally, that's the very last one done. So once again, I haven't switched it on yet. The game in ready. Here we go. Sounds good. I can just about see that. I'll switch it on and off a few times just to make sure I get full power in the capacitors. That's showing much better on the screen than it is actually on here. Oh, it's just developed a spot. So to my eye again, it's not too bad in the dark, as long as I'm at the right angle. I mean, once the angles move, it disappears. Oh, there's a sticky button there. So, to conclude, does recapping fix Game Gears? There's absolutely no doubt that you've got to change the caps on these things, no doubt whatsoever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you end up with a playable Game Gear. So, yep, it needs doing, but don't set your heart on having a working Game Gear after. Not one that's going to be workable for everyday use. So all of these are now destined to have LCD screens on. So 6 out of 6 recaps have solved audio problems, they've solved power problems, but they don't solve the issue of it being such a bad screen. So in my opinion, you need to change the caps, you also need to look at upgrading the screen as well. Right, so that's the end of the video. I hope you've learnt something. I know I have. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please pop along into the shed anytime. See what I'm fixing next time. Thanks very much for now. Bye bye.